Also, fast playing into core, although his spells are mostly physical damage, so. Eh. Anyway, the Clockwork is a very standard answer to this Earth Shaker, right? Because if you get on top of him and you get to pop your Battery Assault, Shaker can't do anything against you. And Clockwork works great together with Grimstark as well, just because if you pop an Inkswell on top of him, he's going to be fast, he's going to stun, and he loves to hug you all that time with the Battery Assault on. So yeah, I really think that the Clockwork suits the draft super well. The only thing it doesn't do is lock down the Void Spirit. But as we saw in the previous game, if the Ember pops off, it's more a problem on the other side to lock the Ember down instead of the other way around. And right now, that Earthshaker is pretty well dealt with if the clock is on top of his game.
Well, definitely has some nice solutions to what Evil Geniuses is considering throwing out here. So most likely going to be Quinn on the Ember Spirit. A good pairing with the Grimstroke and the Clockwork. I'm guessing that's a 4 Clockwork. What do you think?
Normally it is these days, yeah.
I mean, I've seen a couple teams run it as a 3, but generally I think it's more suited to as a 4.
Yeah, one of the problems that Clockwork has, of course, is that the hook shot is not reliable. And to have your ult be a skill shot is a risky proposition. You only get one of those. If you miss it, that's it. You're not doing anything with that fight unless they let you walk in. And I think that does make it more suited to a 4 where you can pop off, but if you don't, it's not like tempo breaking.
This is interesting. They pick up a timber saw for Quincy crew. They don't have, we talk about, having the lockdown for the Void Spirit, right? Like that's a really big deal generally. But in the last game, we saw that Ember just basically eclipsed the Void Spirit completely. It wasn't ending up to be an issue. But now you've got this timber saw, and the lockdown coming out from the side of Evil Geniuses is very light.
Mm-hmm.
This is very worrisome. It's funny too because we're talking about, oh, in heroes, this maybe not so much with these big tanky guys, but it's still a fairly tanky lineup coming out from the side of Quincy crew with these strength heroes picked up.
Yeah, and it is so nice to have a Timbersaw who can just, well, fulfill basically that Bulba role, I guess. Walk in, get some vision, run around, have all of the right clicks just bounce off of him. Although I gotta say, EG right now doesn't have that right clicky of a lineup either.
They don't have a Bulba hero yet either for EG.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that he might end up on the Dazzle. Because
You think the
you know,
4
Oracle
Earthshaker?
Oracle Shaker feels such a shoe-in for fly crit. That's just, that's it. And I don't think you want to upgrade this Shaker with a clock on the field. He's going to get vision of you if you want to jump with that rocket flare. He's going to try and stay on top of you. If you ever want to flank a team fight, I think that should be Crit's problem. And not a core's problem.
So what are the final picks going to be here then? If you take a look at what Quincy crew has,
10 seconds remaining.
I'm guessing that they don't have UR's hero considering that they're banning out the Terrorblade. And then looking over here at Evil Geniuses, they still need something for Artor. Well, that's very fast. That's going to
Ricky.
make life very difficult for that Oracle.
And for the Void Spirit.
Well, that and you've got the Oracle, Voice Spirit, Dazzle, like any of these guys, right? Because you get Grimstroke, you throw the Inkswell on top of Ricky, he jumps on you. It's so hard. Like you've got multiple silences from Ricky Cloud and the Phantom's Embrace. This is just gonna. Oof. I like that pick.
I like it a lot. The Void Spirit is definitely going to build a Yules now, of course, to stay out of that for a bit, but the full Yules duration doesn't exactly, like the smoke cloud lasts longer. So it's still not going to save you entirely. And of course, the mobility of this Ricky, we talked about lockdown for the Ember, for the Timber. Now there's a third core. There's still only a Shaker up on the side of Evil Geniuses. So here, Morphling. So Shaker Morph it is, huh?
What do you think about this? Do you like this? Do you think this is going to be enough?
So one of the things that says to me is, all right, we're just going to do our own thing. And if this morph gets to steal Timber or Ember or even Riki, you can get a lot of utility out of that. Even Grimstroke spells, like if you can just pop an Inkswell on yourself and waveform in, yeah, that's real good. You can definitely fight pretty early with that. But I'm concerned that if Quincy crew have good lanes, that relying on your own strength is just not going to be enough.
Yeah, I'm concerned considering that last series, not last series, but the last game, right? Quinn was very dominant in that mid lane against
Mm-hmm.
Ryoya. Timbersaw is one of those heroes that's just created to win his lane, make a lot of space, and will eat up a lot of space too, cause a lot of people to try to pay attention to him. Granted, Ricky's not the strongest of laners, but I think they're going to have problems with some of these other lanes that I don't. Where do you put your attention then? How do you compensate? Can you compensate? I guess is the
Yeah.
other question. I don't know.
Like if these were different players, for example, I'd say, all right, just put the Dazzle mid versus the Ember Spirit, and you
Mhm.
completely shred him. But I don't really see Bulba as a
Faith
mid
in
player these
faith
I
days.
don't think
restored.
I don't think uh up against Quinn, I don't think he'd have a very good time, unfortunately.
I mean, that it is such an unfavorable matchup for the Ember Spirit, though. The physical damage on the you, like, you're up against a range hero who has this insane physical damage with the
Faith in
Shadow Wave.
faith restored.
It would be really
Even
rough,
a
but
master falters.
it looks like it's just going to be a redo of the Aurelia versus
Shock.
Quinn, Void versus Ember
Balance in all things.
matchup.
How do you think they plan to compensate? Because if I mean, obviously you don't go into any matchup and you say, "Oh, I'm probably going to lose this," right? It's not a good
No,
attitude to have.
not at
But
all.
in
And
case, because
that
history.
matchup was even. If you are ready to bring in either of your saves towards that mid lane, and it's
30
going to just
seconds
have
to
to
battle.
be the Oracle, I think. If the Oracle is on standby around that, like, let's say 7 minute window, then it's going to be a lot harder for this Ember to just run up and try and get.
Oh, Ryoya. He's gonna have to run away. Nice fissure, going to slow them down. Quinn joining in, starts body blocking him, gets a couple hits off. Does have to be careful because there is the Oracle nearby.
The battle
They should be able to
begins.
grab themselves 2 runes top, bottom lane. MSS gonna be able to. They get all 4 runes.
Yep,
That's a great start for the side of Quincy crew here.
absolutely. So let's see, rest of these lanes. So the Riki is probably going to have a rough start unless SVG and Yor can pull off what they did the last game, which is make sure they stay back as often as possible, and then when they get the opportunity for the kills with this Inkswell, they finish off, especially Bulba, if they can get him, and then they retreat again. They did that really nicely last game. But Bulba this time gets a really good forward start just with his block.
Just so much harass already dumped out here on Bulba. It's just a little bit over half health. Can assume that will continue.
Yeah, he's a dazzle though. The harass is fine. It's the burst that you really have to watch out for. And yeah, right now it's all up to Crit to spam out a couple of waves just so that Bulba can get his levels up, and then he can start sustaining better.
He does have that
Then
clarity coming out. He starts with the boots first.
Fly?
Fly?
He's in trouble on the bot lane.
He's making some space here. They are chasing him and bringing a lot of attention towards him. TC down here.
This
This is
might
looking like
be
first blood, though,
blood.
actually. Yeah, there it
Yes.
is. Fiverr finding the kill on Fly. Again, a little bit of space here for Arteezy, but
Yep, like all I wanted to say is, well, you can create.
you see how much
that's
damage just got thrown out on him? Oh my god.
Yeah,
MSS
like that's
1Q.
the Morph life. As long as you're not dead, you just regen back up, and especially with an Oracle, like he's going to be able to keep him in the lane. The one that has to be afraid is Fly, as you saw just there. He has no way to survive if Fiverr walks at him.
That's kind of what they're doing right now, although Viper's sitting very, very low. They should be able to maybe get themselves a return kill. No, they'll back off. Morphling sitting very low, 70 HP here. MSS, he's got another Q. It's not going to be able to quite land it though, so it's like he's going to be just fine.
And this is looking like a very rough lane for EG. As soon as MSS gets his 3rd level up here, he's, you know, you're not going to be able to harass him out of lane with just these 2 heroes anymore.
Quinn was getting very aggressive in the mid lane, playing ring around the tower, so to speak, but he's gonna get forced back a little bit, taking a couple of those tower shots. Just trading back and forth here with Ryoya.
I love how even this matchup is again. This is pretty much a mirror situation of the of how it was in the first game. Just a couple of more denies on that Ember Spirit. The previous game. We're really going toe to toe.
Let's check in here in the top lane. It's like you are sitting currently at 15-1. It's not having too difficult of a time here. This feels very calm for the most part. Like, bottom lane was definitely a lot of action. Just putting pressure constantly back and forth. But the other lanes seem pretty quiet for now. Just waiting to, you know, get the levels up.
Well, Biver's going in on fly again.
Oh, they're chasing after him down here. I don't think they're going to go for a full dive, though. Yeah, they'll back off. Another courier getting sniped, meanwhile. And you can see a rotation coming out here from Crit, but I think he's most likely looking for that. Oh, top lane, we talked about it. We talked about the Inkswell and the jump from Ricky, but not going to go for that too far here.
Crit was seen to secure the rune on top, but it was a bot rune. And the regen did go to Ryoya, so he is all good there.
Biver making his own rotation, hoping maybe they can grab Bulba, but we do have a ward over here on the side. We'll spot him out. So Bulba's already retreating, backing off. It's gonna be Arteezy's courier now getting taken out. MSS, boy, these couriers are dropping like flies.
So this is going to be basically MSS versus Arteezy here on the bot lane. I don't think that MSS can get him out of the lane, but he is going to be more than happy to just sit here and farm. Probably going to be about 50-50 here. And that means that the support have freedom to roam. And look at everyone collapsing on mid right now.
Yeah, they want to stop Quinn here. He's only level 5, but the rest of the team is making their own rotations. Flies here. He's going to try to purge off that shield.
SVG is just waiting until they overcommit, but...
Look at Biver. Taking his position. They'll start off with the Stroke of Fate. Try to take down the courier too. While they're at it, they'll be able to grab it. There's a little bit of a chase going on though over here. They can spot out Fly. Nice remnant pulling in Biver on the side. It's a whole lot of nothing. It's just scrapping back and forth. In fact, you can already see now that the Grimstroke making his way back top. They realize there's nothing more to be done over here, but they're going to try to make the jump. Might land on Bulba here. And he's got spells to stay alive and healthy. Jump back into the mid lane. See that the double damage gets picked up by Ryoya. Turning his attention now to Biver, who's trying to just use that battery assault to get himself some space. He uses the salve, does get canceled. He's trying to just block off. They just don't have the pull. There it is. This is a dead Biver here in the mid lane. Ryoya will clean up.
A lot of time invested though. For 3 heroes.
It was indeed. I'm surprised that this top lane has not gone better for UR here and the Grimstroke. I feel like they could make some plays here on Bulba, but they're just always a little bit off.
Well, Biver's coming in. They're going to try again. But Bulba has been playing so careful. And it is a bit forced, isn't it? Like, as soon as they're missing from the other lanes, you know what's up. Crit?
Biver has his eyes on Crit here. They point out that they would like to grab Bulba though, so there's a jump forward. They'll follow with the Inkswell. This should be a very dead Bulba, although you get your own rotation coming out now from Ryoya. He's looking to try to make plays over here onto SVG. Viper's gonna get pulled in. SVG, he's going for the denial. He's not gonna be able to get it from the neutral creeps. And it looks like Viper, he's pretty tanky, but he's gonna be tanky enough. Ryoya is out of mana here, so looks like they'll just have to back off. Bottom lane, MSS making moves on Arteezy. He's trying to find the final hit here. Waveform away. Arteezy sitting so low. Ooh, is he gonna be able to make it out? He's trying, he's juking, moving around. He's hoping that eventually he's gonna run out of trees or mana. One of the two. The Soul Ring is gonna be off cooldown very soon. Can they find it? This is just constantly chasing after. He'll eventually take down the Morphling.
Oh, that's I gotta say that's a little bit disappointing. I thought that Arteezy would play that more carefully. But I guess he wanted to see how far he could push it, and this was about it.
Well, there's his answer right there. Unfortunately, it was impressive he stayed alive for as long as he did. Perhaps he thought he would be able to, you know, outplay him.
Should he still have been there?
Probably not.
It's like, it feels rough, right? Because against the Timbersaw, you're going to end up giving away towers eventually, but when he's at a lane like this, he's got a Soul Ring, and he's got full reactive armor up. There is no way you kill him unless you hit him with a real big magic damage nukes, and all of those are on Ryoya right now, and Ryoya is having his hands full dealing with the mid and top lane already. So what you gonna do? You're gonna pull Arteezy back. He's going to go into the jungle now. Brit's gonna try and get some levels on this this dead lane. And you try and spy for an opportunity to equalize on towers, but I'm not sure that they're going to get it that easily.
Best item, one of the best items, especially after this patch, right, Kips? The shovel getting picked up now for Quinn. Increase in TPs and the fact that bounties are maybe not affected, but I actually haven't paid that close of attention during all this, but very value item.
In less than a minute. After Bulba gets gone on again here on top lane, they just want to get him off the creep wave.
You can see the muscle coming through here from MSS down in the bottom area. He wants to try to get that outpost for himself, deprive them of that sweet, sweet XP. I'm not sure they'll be able to really contest it right now. I can see Fly making his way over. Got crit, just there's no place really for him to hide.
Fly knows that if he does it, he's dead, but he has to do it because they probably can't stun him, but Viper's there, they can't stun him.
Yeah, they can cancel it. And, yeah, that's gonna be a very dead Fly. Bulba's just hiding in the tree line over here off to the side. Some moves being made over on the mid lane. They have a double damage right over here onto Ryoya. Quinn trying to just move himself away. He does have a Fairy Fire, but he doesn't have any other regen left. It's just going to be able to Remnant out. And Ricky top lane. Oh, he almost manages to get Bulba. But he's able to TP out. There was no stun, no ink swell that time around.
I'm worth so much more.
Poor Bulba, getting hunted around like that. And actually, Crit with his creep wave pulling shenanigans has managed to keep MSS from taking the tower up until now. The catapult wave has arrived though, so one more glyph, then it's over, and SVG gets spotted while he's warding here on top. Was he really paying attention there?
I don't think they... Oh, they do! They have the pull from Ryoya. That Aether Remnant dragging him away from that TP. See Quincy crew kind of doing what they did last game, right? You can see they've got some aggressive vision up. They're trying to take control of the jungle. They know that they have to pressure Artur. There's not too much that he can do right now, though he'll morph himself into his own Timbersaw. There's a lot of people though making their way over now. The Searing Chains comes out. They're just gonna chip away at poor Arteezy.
Oh,
this jungle does not belong to him anymore.
He got baited into playing ball, and they were not playing fair.
How do you not play fair at ball?
You bring more people.
I was thinking like a game of catch, and I was like,
I don't know, I think you can cheat at basically any game by bringing more people.
Okay.
Like, tell me one game that wouldn't, where your chances wouldn't improve if you just brought more people.
I'm sure I can think. I'm just trying to watch everything on the map right now.
Sorry, sorry.
Unfair, unfair. Man, if I was Grant, I'd be able to pull that out like so easily. I'd have something
Oh
like
yeah,
he would
he'd own
immediately
it on
just be
that,
like, oh,
absolutely.
actually. But middle lane,
Yeah.
Quinn facing off with Arteezy. Crit is nearby. He has to be careful. He might be getting baited in
Quinn?
here. Although, no, they spot him. They have Fiver over on the top area. They spot out all three of these heroes. Just throw out a cheeky little slight. Go right back to the tower. Ricky, though, you are looking okay. Flyby's a little bit more time, but he cannot escape the Ricky Maru.
Yes, I love the positioning of this dire Quincy crew. Like the way that they are also bringing in the Timbersaw at the same time. He went back to top now, but he was coming in for the flank from the side as well, just like in the last game, where MSS did exactly the same thing.
Uh-oh, crit. Oh, he walks up onto the high ground, into Quinn, into SVG. The silence starts thrown out, and they'll find a kill, and they find themselves Arteezy as well over here.
Arteezy got
Although
the morph
Fly
off,
standing nearby, he should be fine. They go in with those searing chains. Ryoyo following up. They find Yuar. They should be able to find a kill on him. Oh no, he's
Strike
gonna
out.
be able to escape. They didn't have the lockdown. As now the rest of Quincy crew escape to the high ground, away to safety and out of vision.
Yeah, and I was going to say I'm surprised that Yawar is risking his diffusal blade for this because he is very close and he could buy it if he just, stayed back for a little bit more time. But evidently they feel like they didn't pressure enough last game, so yeah, maybe Yawar heard you. I was like, oh, Moxxi thought I was farming too much last game? Well, I'll show her. I don't need this diffuse.
That's fine. Prove me wrong. I like to be proven wrong. I get proven wrong a lot, unfortunately. But hold that thought as now Arteezy, he's all silenced up, tricks of the trade, everything coming out here from UR. They'll find themselves a kill on the Morphling. And it looks like they're ready to go back in. They want to jump on Fly here. They jump forward again. The silence, the Remnant's not going to be able to save
slaughter.
him. UR gets himself a double kill. And while this is all going on, take a look at MSS. He is one big old Timbersaw who's not afraid. Quinn's got the backup. Oh, that feels bad. That feels bad.
I said in the draft already, but you can't lock any of these three cores down. If they have good lanes, how are you? Yes!
They call it. They straight up call it, Kips. 14 minutes, 14 and a half minutes in. They realize we don't have the lockdown. We can't. Was that the shortest game in this league at this point? I think it might be. My goodness.
I get why they're not playing that one out, right? Because you gotta try and find yourself a way that you're coming back into the game. You gotta try and see, all right, under which conditions do we still take this one? And it would mean this Morphling having to deal with basically everything from the Ricky Cloud to constantly getting his attributes diminished by MSS and all of his backline constantly getting picked off by this diving Ember Spirit, while his lineup has no way to get on the backline of the enemy apart from Ryoya, who up until that point I guess was having the best game, but you can't just lean on one hero to fight the entire enemy lineup by himself. It's, I'd say, a complete and utter outdraft from Quincy crew, and after the laning stage goes like it does, yeah, there's no place to make for evil geniuses. There's no space on the map. They're all the way up behind your tier 2s.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big moment for me too is when you saw MSS and Quinn just chasing into the base. Like they had no cares in the world. They could just do whatever they wanted. UR was getting so farmed up at that point. It was too hard. It was felt a lot like a 4 Protect 1. Again, it wasn't necessarily that set up, but it just became really difficult. And I think hats off to Bulba in the top lane though. Like for the early part of the laning phase, he did pretty well considering like they had a lot of stuff that could potentially lock him down. He could have fed. He was being very, very careful. I think that was like the only lane that really
performed above expectations.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Ryoya did well once again, but then
he couldn't do much beyond that because of what
it's you need, he's an assassin. You'd like to blow up, one of the backliners, and you don't get to blow up anyone in this game except for maybe SVG. But he's pretty tanky, and he's probably got that ink spell maxed out again. You can't actually risk that. So yeah, tough stuff for Evil Geniuses, and I'm a bit surprised to see them GG out this early, but at the same time, they already saw that Quincy Crew can execute playing like this for an entire game. They they were waiting for the mistake the previous game, and they never really got it. So now they see this again and like, what? We're gonna get run at again for another 30 minutes? No way.
I just think it was so elegant too that you have really good pairings with SVG's Grimstroke. You
Yeah, it's
the
beautiful.
balancing out against, all the squishy lineup too coming out for the side of Evil. The clockwork as well, being able to pair that up with everything else on. It's a really nice frequency. It's a bit surprising, but we are going to take a break that ends up the series. When we come, we've got C9 versus South American Team Furious. Stick around.